Friends, today I am here with another topic, law of segregation. I am doing this topic in two parts. This part covers the theory of law of segregation, and in second part you can find some previously asked NEET and CSIR UGC NET questions. You watch this video first and try to answer the questions in the second part. Let's get started. What is law of segregation? This is the second Mendel's law of inheritance. Actually, Gregor Johann Mendel, he explained this law based on monohybrid cross. To get the concept of law of segregation, you should have an idea about what is monohybrid cross, what are genes and alleles. I have done another video on these topics. If you have any confusion in these topics, you can watch that video. The link is available in the description. Law of segregation is mainly based on three facts. The first fact, alleles do not show any blending. The second fact, factors or alleles of a pair segregate from each other. The third point, each gamete receives only one of the two factors. I will explain all these 3 points in detail. As I told you earlier, the law of segregation is based on monohybrid cross. Let's consider a Mendelian monohybrid cross. For this monohybrid cross, we are taking a character seed shape. For seed shape, there are two traits. There is a dominant and recessive trait. Round is a dominant trait and wrinkled is the recessive trait. Now let's make a monohybrid cross considering the character seed shape. A plant having round seeds is crossed with another plant having wrinkled seeds. This is a typical Mendelian cross. In F1 generation, he observed only the plant having round seeds. Means you can easily say that round is dominant over wrinkle. He got a number of progenies in F1. All these F1 progenies were having round seeds. Then he self-hybridized. After selfing of F1 progenies, in F2 progeny he observed both round and wrinkled seeded plants in 3:1 ratio. Now let's analyze this monohybrid cross. Observe in the F1 progeny, you can easily say that all F1 progenies were having round seeds. This can easily happen because one of the parent is having round seeds. So progeny can also have the round seeds. Now when we check the F2 progeny, in this F2 generation, he got round and also wrinkled seeded plant. How these wrinkled seeded plants are produced in F2 generation, though there is no wrinkled seeded plants in parents. You can find only round seeded plants in F1, but 25% of the progenies in F2 generation were having wrinkled seeds. Then what is the reason behind the formation of these wrinkled seeded plants? The reason is nothing but law of segregation. Now let's check the law of segregation. We can again consider the same cross with their genotype. So we took a round and wrinkled seeded plant. And now we are going to consider their genotype. Mendel took pure lines for his experiment. So round plant will be having a genotype homozygous capital R, and wrinkled seed plants will be having homozygous small r. When they are producing gamete, as you know, this will be producing a gamete capital R, this will produce small r, because gametes are always haploid. During the formation of F1 progenies, these two gametes combine. Heterozygous progenies are produced. Of course, the phenotype will be round because we know capital R is dominant over small r. If F1 progenies are self-pollinator, we can get F2 progenies. And if you take this parent will be producing gamete. What happened during gametogenesis? During gametogenesis, these alleles or factors, they separate and segregate. They separate or segregate and enters in different gametes. In the same way, these capital R and small r also separate and segregate, enter in different gametes. These gametes can undergo random fertilization. If this capital R combines with this, we will get capital R. Then what will be the phenotype of these progenies? As you know, all these three will have round seeds. This progeny only produces wrinkled seeds, so that we can get 3:1 ratio. Now we can easily explain the question that we asked in the previous portion. Though there is no wrinkled seeded plants in the F1 generation, Mendel observed a wrinkled seeded plants in the F2 generation. What is the reason? During gametogenesis, this capital R and small r, they separate or segregate and enter in different gametes. As a result, during random fertilization, these two gametes, small r, they may combine together and produce a new phenotype wrinkled. Though there is no wrinkled seeded plants in the F1 generation, we can get a wrinkled seeded plants in the F2 generation because this capital R, small r, they separate or segregate during their gametogenesis. As a result, these two small r may combine together to form a wrinkled seeded plant. This is about law of segregation.